Yeah.
You guys are
Mr.
terrible
Fagan's
friends. I've
gonna
been
love
waiting
this.
to test.
Okay, here we go.
No
What's
one
that,
told
like
me.
a euphemism?
I don't really cut up.
So basically,
Tonight, you are
shorty
going to
said that
practice a
AJ,
couple of graphs on your calculator, graphing some weird things. It's very, very simple. So let's look at our book on page 412. Page 412, or 411, I guess, 411.
But then I'm also asking.
And let's graph number 4. So I'm on page 411, and I'm going to graph number 4. Now let's look at the directions. What do you think those directions are telling you? Is anyone out there paying attention? What do you think the directions are telling you for problem number 4 in terms of setting up your calculator and getting ready to graph? Well, we should be in radian mode, right? So let's make sure we're in radian mode. How do I know that? Because what do the directions say? Are you looking at page 411? Negative 2 pi to 2 pi, right? Those are radian measures, okay? Now, when I set up my window, what do you think my x min is going to be? Negative 2 pi. And what do you think my x max is going to be? 2 pi. Now, let's look at what we're graphing. We're graphing an x squared minus 2 cosine. Okay? I have no idea what those y's are going to be, so let's just make up a y min. How about negative 20 and positive 20 for y max? Now, can I adjust that if things don't work out when I go to sketch this thing? Absolutely, right? So I'm not worried about it. I'm going to type in my equation, which is x squared minus 2 cosine x. What'd you get? Kind of a V parabola type looking thing? Is that what you got? Yeah. Okay, I don't think I need to go any lower on my y's, but just out of curiosity, I'm going to go a little higher on my y's and see if anything else happens. So I'm going to go all the way up to 100 on my y max. It doesn't look like anything else is happening, does it? So that's it. That's all you have to do. So I've assigned a couple of those. You're going to graph them. You're going to figure out what window you need, and you're going to draw the picture, and it's all going to be wonderful. Yes, Delaney.
Mine's mine graphs.
Do you have it in radian mode?
I like graphs and
To erase German. So I also put all those.
Never mind.
Yeah, you do that right.
They're right there. I don't care.
Oh, I see what the problem is. Yeah, what are your thoughts on? You gotta make sure your thoughts are all.
Father-ish pizza gets.
Okay, now, the next thing we're gonna do is there's a set of problems. You're gonna have another really short homework assignment. There's a set of problems, and the directions say, is it, meaning the problem, a sinusoid? Now,
Please excuse the interruption. There is a light brown Toyota Camry located in the senior lot with the lights on.
That is all.
this is what the equations look like. They're kind of complicated looking equations. And it says, do you have a sinusoid? Now, that's really an easy question to answer. What is the period of this piece of this problem?
Pi 4 pi.
Somebody said pi, and whoever said pi was right. How do we find the period?
You divide 2.
The period of the sine curve always starts out as 2 pi. When you put a coefficient on x, that divides it, right? So this period is 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi. What about the period of this? Now, this is a cosine. What's the period of it?
Pi.
It is also pi. Kids, when they match, when the two things that you are adding or subtracting, this can be a plus or a minus, it doesn't matter, that when the two things that you're adding or subtracting have the same period, it's a sinusoid. That's what it means to be a sinusoid. It's a combination of trigonometric functions that have each piece of which has the same period. So this would be a yes. Now, how about this one? What's the period of this?
6 pi.
What's the period of this?
2 pi.
Sinusoid?
No.
Now, the next step, so the first step is determine if it's a sinusoid or not. This one is, this one isn't. Very, very easy to determine. The second thing, though, is these things are both periodic. This big thing, sinusoid, is indeed periodic, and its period is pi. Because if you add two things that repeat every pi units, the sum is going to repeat every pi units. That's easy. This is not a sinusoid, but it is periodic. It will repeat. Does anybody have an idea about what the period of the sum here would be, this whole problem? Any idea when it would repeat?
12 pi.
No, but that's a great guess, Harry.
3.
I want you to think about something for a minute.
3.
Let's look at this
6
piece of the
pi.
problem. Let's look at this piece of the problem. Every 6 pi, this curve starts over again. So it starts at 0, and then it starts over again at 6 pi, and it starts over again at 12 pi, and it starts over again at 18 pi, and so on. Would you agree with that? This part of the problem?
Yes.
Now, what about this part of the problem? It starts at 0 and starts again at 2 pi and 4 pi and 6 pi and 8 pi and so on, right? Now, when both curves start over again together, that's the period. So what's the first overlapping number you have in those two lists? 6 pi. So this is the period. It is where both curves start over again together, because then the whole shebang starts repeating itself. Let's try a couple more. First question is it a sinusoid? And I bet you're going to guess no just by looking at it, because what's the period of this?
4 pi.
2 pi over a half, which is 4 pi. Very good, Harry. And the period of this one is?
5.
2 pi divided by 4/5,
5
which is 2 pi times 5 fourths.
times 20.
5 pi over 2?
Stephen, you killed that. Really good.
So is it sinusoidal? No. But it is periodic. What would be the period of the sum? Well, let's just make a list again. When does this one start over again? At 0, 4 pi, 8 pi, 12 pi, 16 pi. We can keep going if we need to. This one repeats every 4 pi. So this is one that starts over again. How about that one? 0, 5 pi over 2. What would be the next period?
10 pi over 2.
10 pi over 2, which would be 5 pi. And 15 pi over 2, right? Might help if I wrote 2.5, 5, 7.5. What's the next one? 10 pi. The next one will be 12.5. The next one will
15
be
pi.
15. Oh my. What's the next one?
17.5 pi. 20 pi.
Is 20 pi going to be in this list? So there's the period of the site. All right, try one on your own. First question, is it sinusoidal? Second question, what's its period?
No. That's mine is yours.
Now, don't let the way I wrote the problem trick you.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Let's
tricked.
take that 2 out.
Yeah, let's take that 2 out. I love that.
That's Aries.
Now, in terms of this particular problem, we really only care about one number in the equation, or 2 numbers, I should say. We care about this guy and this guy, right? Those are the only ones we care about in terms of determining period. So what's the period of this one?
Half pi.
2 pi over 2, which is pi. So this one repeats every pi. This one, the period is
2/3 pi.
2 pi over 3. So it repeats at 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, 6 pi over 3.
Which is 2 pi.
Which is 2 pi. So your period is 2 pi.
And they're
Got it?
sinusoidal.
And it is not sinusoidal because the periods are not the same. But it does have a period. It is periodic. Okay?
You take the 2 on that, okay. I thought you-
Always the coefficient on x.
Okay.
Always the coefficient on x divides the period. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for homework. What I want you to do right now is find in your big packet it's at least halfway in the packet. And it says this at the top.
I will take the money.
Giant, it's not the Christmas one,
I'll
right?
stick the money out of it.
Wait, what big packet?
It's the big packet,
Ah,
the
this
thicker one.
together.
Thursday.
So you're looking for a paper that's headed that way.
Not really.
Precal A quiz.
But I wasn't eating rib.
Oh,
Linda
found
will
it.
sign up.
Now, what I want to do while I check through your homework, which, by the way, let's see, Carter, where did you put that? I need your homework. While I check through your homework real quick, I would like you to be working together with your neighbor or groups of 2 or 3, I don't care, and see how much progress you can make. See how much progress you can make on this quiz. I would love it if I could get some of you groups to come up and put your work on this board. So I would like the graphs in particular to be up here. So if somebody,
Yeah, it's that back.
If somebody would come up and do number 1, sketch that one
Steven, which
for
one are you
us.
doing? That page?
And 2,
Those
and then
eyes.
do
So wait,
column
wait.
3,
Show
that
how
would
big
be
you
great.
get, like for this one, don't.
Got it.
Okay.
Pow pow.
Like that's,
What? This one.
you're in the right packet.
This one. What is
There's
it?
like 3 different packets and it's this one, yeah.
I found it.
Big fat one.
Okay, let's go, let's get started, we don't have a lot of time.
This one?
What are we doing?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's after there's one period.
I don't even know what you're doing. Obviously, wrong packet. Okay. It looks like that on the front.
Ooh, this is scary. Why are you so aggressive?
I'm trying to learn your whole
This isn't. This is Brownie, this is our past, and they're disrupting us. Oh man, she wanted to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
She was going to.
I love getting some, because it's like county beef. I love me some county beef.
Sketch 1 period.
What's
And
PS?
is the one probably just the one pie. But like, it's also like the one that goes like some so it's not.
So it's gonna be like this one.
I'm gonna put pie there.
It's literally this.
No, it's not.
Really?
Oh, it is. Hey, look.
Literally this.
So if you do this,
The picture is this.
that's negative,
What is that?
positive pi, positive 1/2
Oh my
pi,
gosh.
negative 1/2 pi, and then it's like.
Is that really? Is that like, that I have all this?
You should put pi right here. That's pi.
I always thought like the period was just what this is.
I still have,
I don't know.
I still have stuff from Okay, that costs.
Hey, Maria or Katie, is the period of the tangent 1 pi?
Period of the tangent is 2 pi, right? Because everything
No,
else
it's
is
6 pi.
everything's 2 pi.
Oh, tangent.
Sine,
Really? Oh, wait, what's just pi then?
Pi is tangent, secant, and secant. And then 2 pi is sine.
That's what it was. I got all those lines. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, so it's like
gotta get even
pi.
high. Yeah, but I'm too stupid.
Hey, ask.
This is the base should be in part of the
We're all in here.
Reciprocal of period?
Frequency is
The opposite of
I don't know why. Wait.
no, it's not.
It's like the height.
Period is pi.
No.
Oh, you said it's my Christmas present.
Oh, my leg itches.
For sure.
Does that just go on?
Period's pi.
I think there is always pi.
Ask me what day
It'd be 1/2 pi.
It's just like sine where it's always 2 pi. Sine equals
I see wrist.
I just did one of them.
A stands for.
Katie, what's frequency? Is that like?
It's the reciprocal.
period is
Sine looks like this.
I don't know what any. What is it?
2 pi times. So
Is that at 1/2 and the other 1/2?
It's just normal tangent, it's just.
that means the period is the
Wait, why is period?
Oh, the frequency is the
I don't know why.
Why you thought it was.
That was the plan, but.
and then this means that
P.S.
you start writing.
Personal
It's opposite.
safety.
And I was gonna
the signs are at the middle.
and it's gonna
P.S. Where was P.S.
It's like, write something.
No, it's just it's not, man, dude. There's no personal security on this problem.
Phase shit.
Just write no solutions for anything you don't know. No.
Okay, so.
Oh, they put suppose.
Only saying it's 2 5.
It doesn't move anywhere. Phase shift, vertical shift.
Yeah.
And then
Amplitude is always the.
Yeah, it wasn't personal security.
so it's a phase shift.
Phase shift before.
I thought. I agree, but that's not me. It's the only V word I know.
I'm waiting for you to remember too.
I'm waiting it for it to be 11 o'clock so I can look at it on my watch.
So I'll just check out. You're watching.
Ice on my wrist.
Wait, what is it?
So I have my watch on my right hand.
But I feel like you
That's
fake
like-
look at your horizontal shift is the electron. Usually.
That's my calendar.
I thought this was the appointment.
Is it a
You know
calendar or
what's
my
silly?
watch every
Get
time?
a calendar tattooed on your arm to look at because it'll only be good for you.
Vertical shift.
I meant why there, why
You
that?
can get it like redone.
So like, how do you
Slightly. It like really great, kind of.
keep going?
I definitely get a pictures.
Oh, we had like a. We can do number 1.
Well, shoot, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping we'd get these up here. I need
We'll go
somebody
up there.
to up here.
We'll go up there.
Let's do it. We're not going up.
We need to get
I don't
these up
wanna
here.
go up.
We're out of time.
Is this right? This is right. This is right. One of the cars.
I'm not sure if that's right.
Andy, once you're done, we don't know how to do the second one. Tommy.
I'm not sure.
Already number 2. Are you doing number 2? So I'm not.
We got this. We got everyone.
For the whole curve up.
Hey,
Yeah, that's 4-5.
no.
It ends at 4-5, that's a long way.
It ends at 4-5.
I really thought I was
No. The thing that's going on and off, that's what you
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, wait, so I don't get who you're getting for. Like I get, okay, so it's 4-5.
Cosine X, which is
And for
the.
years,
This is 1/4. Right?
yeah.
So, see, I'm confused, it's not here.
That's the period.
Because you put the period is
Schedule
on
2
one.
is like, this is from here to here.
So period is always, alright, so like this above, period is sketch 1 period.
Oh, yeah.
So you always sketch 1 period. And with this, we find out that the period is 45. So we sketch everything, we expand everything
like,
to 40.
to make it 40 bananas, like, right.
Like 1.5.
Is like the
So usually it's just 2 pi, and it always starts right here. It always comes up to pi, it always comes up to pi.
So,
And that it always goes like this. That's what it always comes.
They were fine. They were fine the way
So
they
from
were.
here,
We'll have a quiz on Monday.
comes down, and this is the center point, which is the center, and then it goes 1. That's 1 period. Well, now if it's 4 pi, you go up
I
to
took my
5.
notebook back.
Then it goes down to 2 pi, just like this.
it's just the opposite.
2 pi. Then it goes down to 3 pi.
Oh, okay.
I did like that.
And that little vertical shift means that all it is vertical shift. It's
You like a little.
Okay, now, let's look at this quickly. We'll have a quiz on Monday, not tomorrow. We won't be ready tomorrow. We'll need to finish this. But,
wait, are we not? What?
this is a tangent curve. The question is, graph 1 period of the tangent. Now, the only thing that's missing here are these labels. These would need to be here. But other than that, that is a perfect tangent curve, and all of this is absolutely correct. There is no amplitude. The period is pi. This particular curve has no phase shift and no vertical shift. Its frequency is 1/pi because frequency is reciprocal of period. Very, very good. Now this next one, the equation is already in graphable form, so now it's just a matter of doing it. What does this tell me?
It's a phase shift.
That's a phase shift, so I'm going to start over here, right? What does this tell me?
The amplitude.
It's upside down, so I'm going to graph
That's what the negative.
an upside down sine curve. Whose amplitude is 2. Now, what's the period of this particular sine curve?
4pi.
The period's supposed to be 2pi, but it's been divided by a half, so you're right, the period's 4pi. Which means that from this point to this point is a distance of 4pi. So you gotta figure out what that point is down there. What would that be?
4 and 1/4. Or
4 and
plus
1/4, which probably it's easier in terms of arithmetic. 17 fourths. But that is 4 and 1/4. If you start at a fourth and you add 4, you're at 4 and a fourth.
Let us finish, come
Right, you
on.
have homework in the book?
Not enough time in my day.
We will.
Oh, we did everything. Well, Heidi, we did everything right besides.
I passed it on the pencils, make sure you get it.
This is 4. Would the amplitude for number 2 be 4?
No, the amplitude is 2.
Okay.
It's half the distance, not the volume.
Okay.
It really needs to.
How can you so serious?